Dr. Anandakrishnan is an educationist of exemplary competence, experience and vision with a judicious mixture of humility, calmness and firmness. He is a man of extraordinary scientific temper and immense societal concerns. Felicitating him and speaking on the topic, Science and Society, is Professor V. Devanathan, President of the Academy of Sciences, Chennai. Professor V. Devanathan is also the CSIR Emeritus Scientist at Anna University. He is a professor and head, Department of Nuclear Physics, University of Madras. He is also the visiting professor, Institute for Nuclear and Particle Physics, University of Virginia. He is also the visiting research professor, the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. He is a visiting scientist at Triumph, Vancouver, Canada. He is a visiting professor at the University of Melbourne in Australia. We humbly invite him to speak on science and society.
Dr. Anandakrishnan, Mrs. Anandakrishnan, and distinguished invitees. It's a great pleasure for me to associate myself with the 90th birthday celebration of Dr. Anandakrishnan. He's a great educationist, he's a scientist, technocrat, and a great educationist. Well, he wanted his 90th birthday to be celebrated by a scientific seminar. That is why the organizers have distributed various topics based on science and technology. Science discovers the laws of nature. Now, the laws of nature one has to imagination. So Richard Feynman, the Nobel laureate, has made a remark. Now, Richard Feynman, we have celebrated his birth centenary recently. He's a great physicist and a Nobel laureate. He said the imagination of nature is far, far greater than the imagination of man. Always one has to dream, one has to imagine. In our old epic Ramayana, we have imagined Pushpaka Vimanam, and it has now come to be realized. So once you imagine, then you try to find out the laws of nature underlying that one, and you are able to achieve that one. In the same way, in our epics, we talked of many worlds. We talked about the Bhulogam, Indralogam, Devalogam, and so on. Different worlds. And it is said that what is 1 year for human beings on earth, it is 1 day for Devas in Devalogam. So we have already, we have said that time is not absolute. And this is what has come to stay now from the Einstein's theory of special relativity. Now, we can understand the old epic statement from the Einstein point of view that Devalogam is in relative motion with respect to the Earth, relative motion with a velocity approaching the velocity of light, the dilation of time. So the laws governing the sub-microscopic world and the laws of the distant galaxies, you know, you have to unify those laws. And that requires, there is a logical continuity. So there's a logical structure behind the laws of nature. So you have to understand the logical structure behind it. The basic science leads to the technology. The application of science to the various practical problems, it has resulted in the Industrial Revolution. Now that has relieved the person, human beings, from hard labor. It has given to the machines to do that one, so that he can devote more time on other things, more useful things. That is how you find the acquisition of knowledge is in the geometrical progression. 300 years ago, we only know the bullock carts for transportation. Now these technological inventions, now you have got car, steam engines, and railways, and then we have got aircraft and jet planes and so on. Now, from the bullock cart age, we have now come to a stage wherein one can do intercontinental travel. One can have the breakfast in India, lunch in Europe, and then the dinner in USA. It is possible now. In that very near future, it may be possible for interplanetary travel. In the same way, it will be very common. So we have to wait and see. Now, these scientific and technological revolutions have an impact on society. Earlier, in the bullock cart age, the society is a group of individuals interacting with one another. And they have developed their own language. They have framed the rules and regulations for peaceful living. So, and then they developed a code of conduct, and we had a different culture. So different societies began to have different cultures because there were no interplay between them. Now the world has shrunk, and so because of that rapid, the transport facilities and also the modern communication facilities, the world has shrunk and the cultures are merging one with another. And we have to adjust ourselves with the changing nature. Unless we do adjust ourselves with that, we need to adjust to the changing environment. There lies the future of mankind. Let me, in conclusion, say that this short talk is dedicated to Dr. Ananthakrishnan and Mrs. Ananthakrishnan. And one more thing I would like to. Dr. Ananthakrishnan has been the former president of the Academy of Sciences, Chennai. Formerly it was known as the Tamil Nadu Academy of Sciences. It has been stabilized now in Chennai, And we will be having his 90th birthday celebrations by having a seminar talk on 14th July, that is on Saturday, most probably in the afternoon. And I extend to all of you a welcome to that. It will be, he has been involved in science and technology all these years. And so it is in the fitness of things, we must try to at least compile the views of various scientists and technologists, see how the science and technology can be taken to the higher levels of excellence. We should try to give a sort of a road map to the universities to adopt that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.